it to all the other brands that are out there. If you're not in women's sports today, get off your ass. It's time to get into women's sports. I think there are a number of brands that saw around a corner, and for us, to coincide with the 50th anniversary of Title IX, of which I was a product of Title IX, to make our 50/50 pledge. There was only one component in the ecosystem that could blink and make real change, and that was brands. And so I'm really proud of the fact that we were one of the major architects of the movement. I think more and more brands have come along and have seen the power of women's sports, what it can do for your business, what it can do to really grow your fan base. And then you couple that with the wealth transference to women in this country, which is immeasurable and huge. It just makes perfect business sense. And I'm really excited that more brands have followed us. You're seeing the growth of the leagues, you're seeing the staying power of so many of the athletes, and you're seeing the growth in terms of the broadcast contracts and the consumption of those. And so I think that this is something that, as we say, is not a moment, it's a movement.
I remember just, really enjoying the sport and not understanding, what the sport can ultimately do for you, the doors that it can open and the possibilities to continuing to pursue my career. And, I find myself now looking back at where the NWSL began to where it is today. And I realized that the investment in women's sports is ultimately what has allowed the sport to remain intact, to give women the opportunity to say that they are a professional athlete playing the sport that they love. And it really is wonderful because there was a time where this wasn't an option, this wasn't an opportunity, and you really didn't know, where the sport was going to take you and all the doors that it would open.
I believe when you have friction in your life, and that friction comes from being a woman, from being a woman of color, from being gay, all of these things create a friction in your life that allows you to have empathy. And what you see in the women's sports world, that all these players, all these athletes have experienced that friction. They carry a lot of empathy for what it means to be a woman in this world, to try to be successful, to go on and be great. And that's not to say that male professional athletes don't have friction in their life. They do. It's just not the same. So what you're able to harness there is the ability for the fans that come and watch women's sports to feel seen and celebrated just because they have a shared experience or believe they have a shared experience with that female athlete. And that has been something that the league organizations have come into and realized, and they've doubled down on creating community that revolve around these women. And so when you invest in community, when people feel safe to come and partake in women's sports, what you can build and grow is endless. And I think that is what we're seeing. We're seeing that brands and people that sit in positions of power, that hold the keys and access and money, are understanding that to be able to have a place where people feel safe and there's a shared empathy and a shared experience to some degree, that it is able to be sold, but it's also somewhere where people can come, sit, stay, and believe that they belong.
Hi, I'm Andrea Brimmer.
Hi, I'm
Dunn. Hi, I'm Merritt, Mathias, and I'm at the moment.
And I'm at the moment.
And I'm at the moment.